What's up? Man, tonight I was checking out Netflix, this new documentary, Spike Lee joint titled Katrina, Come Hell and High Water. It talks about the events that took place 20 years ago. Matter of fact, to this very day that I'm dropping this review, I'll never forget it. I was there in real time watching it on TV on CNN every single day. Category 5. Started off in Florida. Then you look at it, it was like the whole Gulf. This became the eye of the storm. Absolutely destroyed New Orleans. But that's not the real story. Because after the hurricane, the people who stayed or couldn't get out because of situations beyond their control, the levees broke the next day. And that's where the world horror took place. Levees broke in several places, drowned out the city. If it wasn't for the Superdome, more lives would have been lost. President Bush dropped the ball for the whole nation to see. Federal government had to find a way to get along with the government in place in these cities. They were fighting amongst each other, pointing the blame, pointing the finger. And you got people dying in the streets, blankets over their bodies for all to see on the news. The preparation was terrible, but to their credit, they didn't know it was going to be this bad. Well, back in 1965, the same thing happened. A hurricane destroyed New Orleans. And after that happened, they went in there with the army and rebuilt the levees. But they only built them for a category 3. Well, this was a category 5 that took place in 2005 in August and September. And it wasn't sturdy enough to withstand the water flow. And Spike Lee asked all the tough questions because this is a 3-part documentary. The first 2 parts are about an hour apiece, directed by 2 different people. The third part, about an hour and a half, about an hour and 28 minutes, directed by Spike Lee. And man, I remember Brad Pitt got involved at one point trying to rebuild New Orleans. His intentions were good, but what it was, he wasn't the one doing everything. He was the face of this company that quote unquote was going to rebuild New Orleans. But these houses were cheap. They were put up with papers and snot. And these people had bad living conditions within a year. And those that got out went to Texas, like Houston and San Antonio. Those that couldn't get out were elderly people, wheelchairs, canes, living in elderly facilities. The poor people didn't have vehicles to get out. And these people were trapped. Had to crawl through the attics, on the top of their roofs, waiting to be saved. SOS writing on the top of their homes, on these roofs, writing things like diabetic, heart condition, so people will know to send medical help. Little kids drowned right in front of their parents. Elderly people drowned in front of their children. I remember my job put together some funding. We participated. We had some money deducted from our checks to actually help. This was something I was very proud of because I wanted to be a part of the movement to see people get back on track and get their lives restored. Yeah, I recall watching CNN every day. I remember Soledad O'Brien was always on TV talking about this situation. This is like early on in her career, and this really solidified her as a journalist. And then she went live on location, was talking to the mayor, the governor, and asking them tough questions. Hey, why did you guys drop the ball? What happened? How come you guys can't see eye to eye? Then the racism broke out. There were areas where there were white people who went through the same thing, lost everything. In these neighborhoods, right? Everybody was disenfranchised. You had some people walking around trying to find shelter. And if you walked into this certain white area, they were gunning down black people. They thought they were looting. They were listening to the news, and the news made it look like these black people were bad. They were refugees. They were breaking into buildings. These people ain't had food for 3 to 4 days. What do you expect them to do? They walk through a white neighborhood and these people are barbecuing and shooting black people. One dude even said, hey, it's duck season. You never heard about this because these are situations caught on private cameras and camcorders. And Spike Lee had access to all of this stuff 20 years later to bring out the truth. And then you had government officials just treating black people bad, had them at gunpoint. In the white areas, President Bush would land and talk and shake hands with the people, hug them. One lady gave him a kiss on the cheek. He flew through the black areas. Hey, he didn't even land his helicopter. He kept it moving. Yeah, it looks bad down there. It was cold, man. Even Kanye West spoke out on TV. President Bush don't like black people. It was so refreshing to hear that because he said what everybody was thinking. America had a black eye, you know. Again, here we are, a natural disaster, and black people are being called thugs and hooligans on national TV. Can you even imagine that? I'm glad Spike Lee brought this to our attention with this footage that's never been seen before. It puts a different perspective. And to this very day, you know, we're still divided. You know, natural disasters are supposed to bring people together, no matter what color, creed, or race, because Mother Nature don't care what you are. She's going to deliver hell and fury because that's what she does. She don't care about race, age, creed, or color. Yo, this was easily my favorite documentary of the year. This was incredible. When it first debuted, I think Wednesday, it was in the top 10. I believe tonight it's like the #1 watch thing on Netflix, you know, as far as documentaries and stuff like that. I think K-pop is still doing the damn thing, but you know, hey, Spike Lee got a movie out, highest to lowest. Now you got a documentary out. This is a work of a genius behind the lens. And in closing, man, the intro for the third part of the documentary, this brother that lived through everything is an artist, and he dropped the dopest poem / spoken word about the events of Hurricane Katrina. The way it was shot, only Spike Lee can shoot an artist at work in front of the structure. It's beautiful, brought me to tears. With that, I want to say thank you for listening, coming to the channel. Be sure to tell all your friends and leave your comments down low. And I'm out. You know the routine. Fade to black.